Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new 900 Global Viking. My name is Joshua Tajiri. If you like this type of content, you want to follow your boy, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all your support, and we're still giving away 10,000 followers, so share this video with a friend. I brought a one-handed and a two-handed layout Viking with me, so you can take a look at both of them and see how this ball reacts in two different styles. I brought with me a couple balls to compare: the Rockstar Amped, the Rotogrip Gremlin, RST Hyperdrive Pearl, and the Equinox. Viking is 900 Global's newest asymmetrical hybrid bowling ball. Yeah, it's a hybrid. I can see that the purple is solid. But anyways, we'll dive into the specs a little bit later. Looks kind of similar to Equinox solid colors, but a little bit different. It's got like a orange, purple, and like a light gray, like a silver coloring. I did bring an Equinox to compare today, and you can take a look that the colors are a little bit different. But anyways, back to the Viking. So the Viking uses a Strobe AI core, RB90 hybrid reactive cover stock, comes at a power edge polish finish, and the specs at 15 pounds, RG is 2.51, differential is 0.052, and the PSA is 0.016. So we got a pretty strong core. I don't know how strong the cover stock is exactly. Not too familiar with the numbering system with the 900 Global line, but having a 9 in front of it, because I think it was 91, but having the 9 in front of it, so it's been a, it's a 90 number. I would assume that it is on the stronger side. So let's take a look how it rolls on the lanes. After throwing a couple shots, I could see this ball was pretty good. It surprised me, actually. I thought this ball was going to be a lot earlier and a lot lazier down lane, but this ball cleared the fronts really easily, and it just made that right motion down lane. It didn't go too forward. Off of the break point, it transitioned really nicely into that hook to roll phase, and you can see the motion, just not hockey stick, but it does transition fairly quickly. But it's the right motion. Sometimes when I have asymmetrical Pearl balls, when they hook, they go too forward. This one hooks and it kind of goes this way. It goes through the pins. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of this ball so far. So in my bag, where would I put this Viking? I'd slot this in that number 2 slot. So for the number 1, like my big ball in my bag, I would have like either an Ion Max or like an Origin EX, or now the Equinox Solid that's kind of been going everywhere with me. When I need to transition out of that ball and I need something that's not going to hook really early, but it's still going to have a big enough engine to come off the spot in case, I hit the puddle of oil in the middle and like a smaller core ball, like a high road, kind of just going to go through it. I need something that's still going to be strong enough and big enough to read in that body of the lane, the Viking's going to be a really good ball for that purpose. It's going to be my step down above my big balls, and it's going to give me length, and it's still going to be strong enough to come off of that spot and go through the pins. So I wouldn't put this ball as weak as like a Zen 25 or like an Ember. This ball is definitely a step up above those. So if you have a Gremlin or you have a RST Hyperdrive Pearl, do you need a Viking? The answer is yes and no. If you already have, let's say, for example, a Gremlin in your bag and you're looking to get into a Viking, I would say, yeah, that would be a pretty good purchase since the Gremlin is a little bit weaker. And speaking of the Gremlin, let's get into the comparison of the Gremlin right now. With the Gremlin, it forced me a little bit to the right and be more up the lane, and that's because the cover stock is much, much cleaner than what we see in the Viking. So the Viking is going to be stronger, it's going to force me more left, it's going to read the lane a little bit sooner, it won't go as far down the lane as the Gremlin is, and it's going to have more overall hook potential. So that's the differences between the two. So definitely there's a spot in your bag. I feel like the Gremlin's like a it's almost symmetrical, but it's not symmetrical type of ball. I have that ball slated like in my number three slot in my bag, either where I would put like a Phase AI or a Zen 25, something of that nature in that slot. But it could flex up to that number 2 spot, just depending if I'm bowling on like a lot of friction and I need everything to just be a little bit weaker. Now let's compare the Equinox to the Viking. The Equinox, it felt like it was a little bit earlier. It was a little bit more forward off of the spot. With the Viking, I found more overall motion, more down lane motion, and the ball did go like a foot, maybe like a foot or hair longer than the Equinox did. The Equinox, I feel like I have to keep my angles a little bit more shut. Versus the Vikings, I can open up the lane and have this ball come back with no problem. Taking a look at the Rockstar Amped compared to the Viking. Taking a look at the Rockstar Amped, because it is a symmetrical bowling ball, it is going to be more continuous and have a much rounder motion. Versus the Viking, you can see that it is much more of that hockey stick. You know, you get a stronger transition from that skid hook to roll phase just because it is an asymmetrical core. But as far as overall strengths, they are fairly similar from left to right with my feet. I wasn't too far, maybe like a board or two difference between the two. But the biggest differences that I see between these two balls is down lane.
Yeah, ain't no problems, that won't problem with me, no. Yeah. Took control, run the game, best believe I'm shining, dog. Counting up my wins, yeah, I love it when they count me out. Up the leash, of the chain, boy, I been a dog. Best believe I run the game, you know I'm in control of y'all. Okay, let me talk to the chat. They know I was gone for a minute, had to BRB. Had to grab a couple wins, what I did. They sleeping on the kid, I had to do it B.I.G. I can never be average, and they want a problem with the boy, they don't want no static. I don't need your cosign, running with God, wanna test that, tell them what's happening. Still giving them dope, I'm trapping. They don't know about me, they capping. And they know that I'm running the game, can't stop me, tell them they lacking. Bring it up, I got it in the bag, let's zip it up. I don't need
Now let's compare the RC Hyperdrive Pearl to the Viking. So my RC Hyperdrive Pearl, besides that very first shot that went dead flush, my RC Hyperdrive Pearl was going pretty long. I could feel that this ball is weaker than the Viking, and it would probably be very comparable. I would either have one of these in the bag. I wouldn't have both of them in the bag. If I'm bowling on something that, you know, like in that number 2 spot, and I feel like I'm bowling on a lane surface that's a little bit older with a lot more friction in the front part of the lane, and I feel like my Viking would be a little too strong, I would probably bring my Hyperdrive Pearl instead. But for the majority of the part, this Viking is making the bag. It's going to be in that number 2 slot. I do like it just a hair bit more than my RC Hyperdrive Pearl, and that's saying a lot because that's like my favorite ball in my bag right now. But the Viking just makes the correct motions. It does everything that I like out of the Hyperdrive Pearl, but just a tick notch stronger.
Some final thoughts on the Viking. I'm kind of curious on the marketing side of Storm on how they're coming out with so many pearls all at once, especially like in the ASIM. I know this is a hybrid, it's not a pearl, but just for the latest releases, we had a Gremlin, then we had the RST Hyperdrive right after that, and then we had and now we have a Viking. It's a hybrid, yes. Don't get me wrong. It is a little different, but to me, it does feel like it reacts more of like a pearl than actually like a solid. I think what they could have done is change one of those balls up and change the finish. Maybe had one of those come at like a 3,000 or 4,000 just to kind of differentiate. I just feel like a lot of bowling balls are overlapping right now, and it's making it hard for customers to decide at home like, oh, which one to buy. Like I was saying earlier, if you have a Equinox or you have a Hyperdrive, you have a Gremlin, you're probably not going to need a Viking unless you feel like you really want to have like a very niche piece and you're taking one of those balls out and swapping it in your bag. But yeah, I don't know. Comment down below and let me know, are you going to pick up a Viking? Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. If you guys want to see new type of content, comment down below and let me know what you want to see. I was thinking about doing some more how-to videos, like really basic stuff, more on like how to bowl two-handed or how to find the proper timing, things like how to do a 4-step approach or how to do a 5-step approach. If you guys got any ideas on any type of content that you guys want to see, comment down below, let me know, and I may just do that in a future video. But thank you guys so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. Please continue watching. I got a couple videos here that I think you guys will like if you haven't seen it already. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notification bells so you don't miss any future videos. See you guys in the next video.
And you ain't messing with the boy, you about to see your fate. I'm about to get another chip, call it Frito Lay. They send the beat, I send it back, it's DOA.